Last session, you set aside the revelry of Waterdeep and stepped back into a vow made a lifetime ago. The bowels of the Earth Tavern felt unchanged, salt air, pipe smoke, and Ongamar's weary stare. He remembered the dockside inferno and Borin Deepcoin's fiery death, and cursed about the Gentarim's slavers he'd worked for. He spared little pity for the man, but did give you a name of his one-time conspirator. Taras, a human bootlegger and miscreant who hovered near Deepcoin in those days, and who now fenced stolen wares in the city's dark bazaar. With a few scribbled directions and a warning not to linger, you stepped into the darkened alleys of the dock ward. The market was a furtive maze of ramshackle tarps and stolen wares, bristling with suspicion. A one-eyed dwarf hid his goods, a halfling fled at your approach, and a half-orc tried to goad you into flashing coin to size up your purse. Finally, a mute vendor with his lips sewn shut took a gold piece to point you straight to Taras, a thin, anxious human behind a scrap wood stall of questionable wares. You made small talk before testing his memories of the fire and Deepcoin, and after a few moments of braggadocio, he recognized your scarred face. He froze, stared, then bolted. You pursued through alleys of mud and fungus, reading the scenes with a tracker's eye, a flapping canvas here, a wad of spat-chewing leaves there. At a silent crossing, you remembered the faint phosphorescence of crushed lichen and found the glowing path to an iron ladder and headed up. You surfaced on the rooftops under cooler air and distant sea light. Taurus, just ahead, leapt the spans between the buildings. You answered with a lance of holy light, felling him hard. Rope bound his limbs, a cantrip steadied his failing breath, a prayer brought him back. Bleary and terrified, he talked. The ship was known as the Blackwater Belle. Her captain, Caspian Fletcher, a man well known for his meticulously kept records. If any one source might still hold the destination of your enslaved people, his logbooks surely would. But years ago, Fletcher encountered an aboleth in a subterranean lake, his mind cracked by a psychic attack. Completely and utterly mad, he scuttled his own ship in Skullport, killed half his crew, and began breaking into homes to bellow orders at phantom sailors. Finally, he fled into the old bone labyrinth, an ossuary beneath a ruined prison once tied to early Xanathar, now a maze of bones, maggots, and whispers. If the logs existed, they'd be there with Fletcher. Steel rasped as footsteps bounded up the stairway. Two of Taurus's men arrived, Kale the Knives and Django the Scarred. Kale, true to his name, rushed you and opened your throat with a vicious thrust. You answered with thunder that hurled him screaming off the parapet to the cobbles below. Taras, blanching, called for a halt, a truce. The wizard Blackcloak's ward, he said, barred teleportation into Skullport. Your only entry was on foot through the Undermountain. For the price of mercy, he offered his man Gert to guide you down, and even into the labyrinth with you should you deign to save his underling. You demanded steel placed on the ground, spared the dying knifeman, and sealed the bargain. After a final pass through the bazaar, Taurus's wares already scavenged, you return to your inn to heal and prepare to descend with Gert towards Skullport, the bone labyrinth, and Fletcher's logs within that might finally name the truth of your clan's fate.